Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinamavitamastu ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogendra Matasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharya Padasya Padma Padam Chahastamalakam Chashishyam Tam Todakam Vartikakaramanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padam Bhujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Graseka Karmane. Jiva, Jagat, Tata, Ishvaraha. These three are considered to be the main topic of all religions. And Jagat, the world we know, we experience. Ishvaraha, unknown, we don't see. Jiva is what we think we are. So, one thing which we think we are, one thing that we know as we can experience it, one thing we don't know, but it is. So, with that belief of existence of God alone, all religions begin. When I say all religions, it excludes those who do not have Ishvaravada, like Buddhism or Jainism. So here, the nature of that reality, as it is said, when does it aparoksha anubhuti, when is the paroksha anubhuti? We saw that, that it is said to be aparoksha when you have merely an idea that it is. As it is said that Brahma Asti. Asti Brahmeti Chet Veda, that is Paroksha Jnanam. Aham Brahma iti Chet Veda, Sakshatkara, that is what is known as Aparoksha Jnanam. And Tat Sakshaskara Siddhyartham Atma Tattvam Vivichyate. That is Brahman I am. This realization is what is known as Sakshatkara, for which we need to have clarity on what is the Tattva. What is the reality? And when you say Aham Brahma, that means Aham na Jivaha. Obviously, when you say Aham Jivaha, when you say, then you are not recognizing the wholeness. It is said, as by the example, when we go, we say, part alone has got the space. There is no space outside. Then you are making a gross mistake. Part alone has space. I don't think any space is there outside. Mahakash hai hi nahi. Only Gatakash hai. Which is wrong. So here, so he introduces these four terminologies: Kutastha, Brahma, Jiva, and Ishvara. Now, the concept of Kutastha and concept of Ishvara is so different from all other religious texts. In Hinduism, Ishvara is not another being. Ishvara is a power that is inclusive of all and above. No, so we'll come to that point. So here he gives the example of a pot which has a space inside. And that space inside apparently is looking like conditioned, but not. So Kutastha is the word given for Chaitanya. Consciousness which looks like conditioned, apparently conditioned. Brahma is Maha Akasha, unconditioned consciousness. And the Jiva is the reflection of space found inside the water, which is found inside the pot. Pot space, in the pot space there is water. In the water there is a reflection of space. And that is what is known as here as Jala Akasha. Jale Akasha, Jala Akasha. So that is considered as the Jiva. And then you have in the Mega, which is spread everywhere. And what is Mega? That no, not just a cloud, but a rainy cloud. The very fact that it's a rainy cloud, it consists of a lot of water particles. In those water particles, the space is reflected. Akasha Pradibimba takes place, and that is referred as Ishvara. Now we'll come to that a little later, how that is to be understood. So here it is said, Gatakasha Mahakashau Jalakasha Abrake Yatha. Kam K. So kam is neutral, therefore K. Kam K Kani. Kani. Kani means what? Kani. So Kam K Kani. Palam Pale Palani. So Kam K Kani means what? Kana. Kani spaces. If you want, Paranchikani Pradrat Swayambhu. Because the every Indriya is a Khani only. Every Indriya is a space. And through that only the world is known. Therefore, there in Upanishad it is a Paranchikani Pradrat Swayambhu. Tasmat Parang Pashyatinantaratman. Anyway, so here K is to be understood because it is in a compound, it's a dual compound. So Jala Akasha Abrakhe Yata. I think we have to start from 19, I think, right? Gata Vichanna Ke Neeram Yattatra Pratibimbitaha Sabra Nakshatra Akashaha Jalakasha Utiryate Gadavachinake Neeram Yattatra Pradibhimbitaha Sabra Nakshatra Akashaha. So we have explained this, so just a recollection of that. What is Jala Akasha? Because Kutastha and the Brahman are very easily understood. Because part space and outer space, anybody can see. You take a pot, obviously, in the pot there is space. Let's take a small pot, too much of a bigger pot. Yeah. In that pot, inside the space and the outside there is space, easily can be understood. So he doesn't explain what is Gata Akasha and what is Mahakasha. So he just keeps that is known. Okay, all right. Now let us come to Jala Akasha. So inside this pot, there is water. And in that water, you find the reflection of space. So that reflection of the space inside this pot is limited in two ways. The space inside the pot limits it, and the water quantity also limits it. If the water quantity is less, or even the water quality also limits it. But it's dirty, then dirty reflection. So therefore here, Gata Avachinna Ke. Gata Avachinna Akashe. Ke Akasha. Akashe. Gata Avachinna Akashe. Yat Neeram. That which is the water. Tatra. Tatra means Jala Akasha Stita Neere. Jada Akasha Stita Jale. In the water that is found in the pot, Pratibimbitaha, the one which is reflected, the space. And in that space, obviously, when you look at the space outside, you have varieties of things, planets and stars, etc. And inside this also, you'll find that. I can see. Oh, 5 planets are in one alignment today. Yesterday night I was told and I couldn't see it, but so sun is there, moon is there, then stars, everything will be found inside. Sa Abra Nakshatra Akasha. The space which has, think about planets, moon, sun, stars, clouds. Yahan pe dikhta. So that is to say, how even in that, you can build the entire world can be seen inside that. Now you remember how Ramji, when he opened the mouth, or Krishna, Rama also the same thing happened. Once Kaushalya was doing something, he opened the mouth and she could see that. And then she said, please don't. Krishna was putting mud in that. Open the mouth, you could see the entire. This was just showing off, not showing off, showing that within an individual also the Brahmanda is there. And Bhagavan is explaining that part in that through that instance. So, Sa Abra Nakshatra Akasha, that is what is called Jala Akasha. Iti Udiryate. Udiryate, it is upheld or known. So Gada Avachinne Chinna Akhe Niram. Okay. Now you see, this is called as Tvam Pada Vichara. Because he's going to move this example to explain who is you. Who is Tvam? Who is you? Jiva. When it is a Tatvamasi, in that Tvam is what? Tvam is you. At the beginning stages, we understand Tvam as an individual, as the Vachyartha. Vachyartha only we know. So Vachyartha means what? Literal meaning. But the intent of this text is to move our attention from Vachyartha to Lakshyartha. What is the indicative meaning? So Jala Akasha is taken as the Drishtanta, as an example, to show that how, even though you are considering yourself as limited, but you are actually reflecting what? You are reflecting the entire cosmos. So do not merely consider yourself as a mere limited individual conditioned by body, mind, and intellect. But Jiva at the present moment considers oneself as only I am such alpajnaha, alpakarta, alpabuddhiman, alpashaktiman. So Gada Avachinna, Akasha Yat Udakam Asti Tatra Jale Pradibimbida Abra Nakshatra Sahita Akasha Jala Akasha iti uchate. All right. So Kutastha is Tvampada Lakshyartha, and Jiva here, Kutastha is Tvampada Lakshyartha, and Jiva is Tvampada Vachyartha. So Kutastha is what? Kutastha is the apparently appearing as conditioned consciousness, conditioned space. Conditioned space in the example is an apparently conditioned space, but really not. In the same way, Kutastha is the Chaitanyam, which is apparently look like conditioned, but it is not. Whereas Jiva is a reflection of the space within that water, which is found in that pot. And that Jiva is, because of its very limitation of thinking, it is considered as Jiva, that is the Padartha, Vachyartha of. Now, similarly, Maha Akasha is the Tatpada Lakshyartha. And the Ishvaraha is Tatpada Vachyartha. Let's try to understand that, because you have to correlate with that Mahavakya. All right. Now, see, now in the next one is Maha Akasha and connected to Mega Akasha. Maha Akashasya Madhye Yat Mega Mandala Mikshate Pradibimbataya Tatra Mega Kasho Jale Stitaha Mahakashasya Madhye Yat Mega Mandala Mikshate Pradibimbataya Tatra Mega Kasha Jale Stitaha Mega Akasha Jale Stitaha. So we have seen Mahakasha, which is the outer space outside the pot. Tasmin Madhye, Maha Akashasya Madhye, in the middle. Yat Megamandalam Ikshate, there is a Megamandalam, which is the rainy cloud. Megamandalam Ikshate is seen. And in that, Pradibimbataya Tatra Jale. Tatra is to be understood, Jale. In that very Megamandala, which consists of water, in that Pradibimbataya, as though reflected, the space again is reflected in those also. Mega Akashaha Jale Stitaha. That which is found to be in that very water found in the Mega, that reflection of space that is there is known as Mega Akasha. Now, as I said, we will explain how this is to be understood a little later. So, the building up of this, the Drishtanta is meant for a higher purpose. We'll come to that slowly. But he had started with Chitradeepa, remember that. Chitradeepa is where he started, but he just gave up that because that is served the purpose. It has served the purpose of making us understand the requirement of attention to be diverted from the pata, from the picture, chitra, to the pata. So, having said that, now he had taken this example to explain who is Kutastha, who is Jiva, who is Brahma, and who is Ishvara. Now, here onwards, the explanation will be mainly on Kutastha and Jiva. That is the main thing that he will try to, because Ishvaraha and Jiva, Ishvaraha and Brahman, even though it is necessary to explain, but presently our confusion is caused by not Ishvara. You cannot say, I am a miserable soul. No, Ishvara is the cause. If it is not Ishvara, Ishvarananda is the cause. All my confusion is because of him only. The Brahman and Ishvara is not the cause of our problem right now. The issue is, problem is because of Jiva mistake. Kutastha we are, but we are mistaken to be Jiva. So that is why it is. Now, one may say, I can understand the part, I can understand the space, I can understand the outer space, and I can understand the water inside and the reflection of our space in the water. This cloud and other thing. Who goes to the cloud to look at the water? How will I understand that? So Purva Bakshi will ask this question. How do I understand this? Now the explanation on that. Nanu Mega Jalasya Apradimanatvat. Apradimanatvat means it cannot be. I cannot even think about that because I have never gone to the cloud and looked at it. So Abra Abasaha. So Mela Pradibimba Mega Jalasya Apradiyamanatva Nabasaha Tatra Katam Pradibimbita Jnanam Ityashanka. How do we understand the pradibimba of the reflection of the space taking place in the water particles of the water which is found in the cloud? Now, understood. Now, the answer to that is Megam Shurupada Muddagam Megam Shurupa Mudakam Tusharakara Samstitam Tatra Swapradibimboyam Tatra Pradibimboyam Niratvat Anumiyate Megam Sharupa Mudakam Tusharakara Samstitam Tatra Pradibimboyam Niratvadanumiyate. Pramanas are many. Pramana meaning means to know. In that, we always use pratyaksha as the most evidential, most acceptable one. But there are other pramanas are also there. Immediately after pratyaksha, what is taken as the serious pramana is anuman. Anumiyate. Anumiyate means inferentially we know it. What is inferential means of knowledge? Yatra agnihi tatra dhumaha. Some people have the last name Agnihotri, and they continuously smoke. So that is why it is called Yatra agnihi tatra dhumaha. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Right? So we use it in the colloquial term also. How can there be smoke without fire? Somebody is doing something, and some, gossip especially. The gossip happened because something he did. Not that something would happen. Etra agnihi tatra dhumaha, or etra dhumaha tatra agnihi. So which is to say, wherever there is smoke, there must be fire. That is easy to understand. Similarly, yatra jalam tatra pradibimbaha. This is called anuman. Inferential. See, the cloud cannot be cloud without the water particles. What is cloud there? The cloud is because there is water. And what is the nature of water? Reflection. So the reflection of space taking place there also, even though I don't see it. Hona hi hoga. Now, let us extend this here. Hey, I am consciousness. All of us know that each one of us. Ishvara is not consciousness. It's jada. How can that be? If you are conscious, better God be conscious only. He cannot be a achetana rupa. And one who has given the life to all beings cannot be inert thing. So even though it is not pratyaksha to us. So Isha Vasyam Idagam Sarvam, it's not a pratyaksha prama. We have to understand or know that his presence is there. Maya tadamidam. Why Bhagavan particularly says that? Maya tadamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. व्यक्त नहीं है, दिखता नहीं है, देखना नहीं सकते. अव्यक्त मूर्तिना मया idam sarvam jagat tatam. Right? So even we understand this example to show that it is that's what anumiyate. The last word is said anumiyate. Inferential knowledge. We have to accept the inferential knowledge. So here, inferential praman here. Mega amsha roopam udagam. Udagam in the form of mega amsha. In the form of mega amsha roopam udagam. The udagam itself, water itself is the cloud actually. Cloud is not another thing other than the water. Like you can say there is pot and there is mud. Two things. Are there two things? Then you take the pot. No, I'll take the mud. So mega is what? A collection of water which has a lesser density, lesser weight but higher density. The density is there, but weight is not there. That's why it's floating there. And it is nothing but water particles. That's called tushara. Tushara means water particles, water droplets. Megamsha rupam udagam tushara akar, the form of water particles or water droplets, samstitam, stained. Tatra. Tatra tushare. In those water particles, ka space, as I said, ka pradibimbi bimbaha, ka pradibimbaha, akasha pradibimbaha, ayam. But that is known as mega akasha. Ayam, this one is known as mega akasha. Why? Niratvat. See, when you use the word or when you use the Anumana Pramana, most important thing is Hetu. Hetu means cause. Without explaining the cause, you will not understand the effect. So if you say smoke, tasya Hetu kim? Agni. Hetu means the cause of it. Why there is smoke? So even though effect is seen, but cause is unseen, but cause has to be there. Cause has to be there. Without that, the smoke cannot. So in the Anumana Pramana, Hetu is very important. Cause. So when you go out from this room and then when you go towards your car, it's all wet. So what is your understanding? You see it's wet. Hetu is rain. You didn't see the rain by yourself, but then you come to know that if at all the entire car has been wet and outside that also wet, somebody had used the hose pipe to clean up my car. Then you see the other car, that also, other car. Then you see the trees, everything. Hetu is what? Even though I've not seen. So the Akasha, you don't see it. In the Mega, Niratvat. That is the Hetu. Niratvat. So this is the logical argument. Niratvat pradibimba. Because yatra niraha, yatra jalam, tatra pradibimba. Wherever there is water, there must be reflection. So therefore, here also, yatra nilatvat, the anumiyate. That's why they use nilata being, the water is being there, because tushara is nothing but water droplets. Therefore, the pradibimba of the akasha must be taking place, even though it is not pratyaksha to me. That is what's called anuma, anumiyate. So, vimatam jalam akasha bimbavat bhavitumarhati jalatvat gata jalavat. Like that of the water that is found inside the gata reflects the space, in the same way, the water that is there as tushara in the mega also must be reflecting the space, and that space is what? It's not limited. Vast. So, iti anumanena megamsha rupe jala api akasha pradibimba sadbhava avagamyate. So, having established that mega akasha is the through anumana pramana, that is Ishvara asti. Yata jiva asti, Ishvara must be there. If you look at the beautiful painting, obviously there must be an artist. If this beautiful painting itself has art, look at the beauty outside. Artist nahi hoga. The beauty of the mind of the artist is what is reflected in the picture, and the beauty of the Lord then. How beautiful is the creation. You look at it, understand the beauty of the mind of the Lord. And if you see the intelligence in any place, that's why Bhagavan says in 10th chapter what? Everything where there is a brilliance. Etra vibhuti mat sattvam. Wherever there is a vibhuti, you see, you know me, I am there. So the intelligence also expressed, if there is an intelligent thing that is done, you will wonder who did this, which intelligent boy did that, intelligent girl did that. So understand the intelligence of that child who did or who performed, or who, whatever be the occasion or the reason. So understand the brilliance of that. So if you look at the creation, even if you look at the human body, how well it is designed, how well everything is coordinating. Somebody he created out of craziness. Everything, if you look at a single leaf itself, take a leaf and look at it. How he makes sure that there is a what do you call it? A network is there, and then there is like when you are a chip, your computer chip, how so much of information is stored in that. Even in a single leaf, so much information is stored. How to translate the light into power and sustaining power. Solar, when we put this, it's all the cells. All the leaves are solar only. Is it not true? How is the tree sustaining? What power is there? Solar power. Where? Leaves. Every leaf is a solar receptacle. What? The human mind is only copying something. Bhagwan's a copy or something. Everything is copied from me. So every cell of our body is a solar cell. Why do you vitamin D? Go outside. Vitamin D, right? We in California with so much of sun also we lack vitamin D. Why? Because we don't expose ourselves to sun. No energy. Coffee. Why energy? Energy short. Go and walk for 1 hour and come out. You'll have full energy. Anyway, so even though Ishvara is not pratyaksha, but we know it has to be there because anumana, animiyate. Evam drishtanta bodham akasha chatushtayam utpatya. Having explained these 4 kinds of things like Kutastha, Brahma, then Jiva and Ishvara. Dashtantike pradama uddhishtam kutastam vyutpadayati. Now, having done explained about this, now he takes who is the Kutastha. Let us start understanding what is this Chaitanya. Adishtanataya deha dvaya vachinna chetanaha kutavan nirvikarena stita kutastha uchyate. Adishtanataya deha tvaya vachinna chetana kutavan nirvikarena stita kutastha uchyate. Who is Kutastha? So there are 2 ways of understanding this word. First one is, let us define Kutastha. First definition is avachinna chetana. Avachinna chetana, meaning conditioned consciousness. And just like the space appears to be conditioned by the pot, just like the space appears to be conditioned by the pot, which it is really not, avachinna iva asto. In the same way, Chaitanyam avachinna iva drishyate, tad Kutastha. That consciousness appearing to be conditioned by the what? By what? By what? Dehadvayena. Dehadvaya avachinna chetana. What is Dehadvaya? Sukshma tata sthula Dehadvaya dvayena avachinna chetana. The two of them, Stula Sharirena Tata Sukshma Sharirena Cha Avachinna Iva Stitaha Chaitanaha Kutastha. The conditioned consciousness is that which is appearing to be conditioned by the two bodies known as subtle and gross bodies. We'll explain why it is so. This text is going to drill into your head. Huh? That is what is called Vidyaren.
Why not three bodies?
I'll come to that. That's why I'm coming to it. We'll explain that. So, Deha Dvaya Avachinna Chetanaha Kutastha. This is the first definition. Now, Kutastha Lakshanam is being spread here. Next one is Adhishtanataya. Adhishtanataya Stitaha. Adhishtana means support. So, support of what? It is interesting. See, in this, the space inside cannot be without the part. Right? Space inside cannot be without the part. So we saw just now that this space is conditioned by the part as much as the consciousness is conditioned by the two bodies. But the two bodies are where? Who's Adhishtan for that? Adhishtana for that two bodies is also Chaitanya. As much as the space inside is supported by part. Part is supported by what? But that is also Akasha. So that Akasha that is supporting the part is also Chaitanya. So that is also referred as Kutastha here. At this point, the consciousness conditioned externally by the two bodies is called Kutastha, but as well as that very individual body. I'm not talking about the entire whole world. He's talking about Dehatva. So Dehatva goes both ways. It is called Dahali Deepavat. Dehadvaya Adhishtanataya. Dehadvaya Adhishtanataya Stitaha Kutastha. Dehatvanna Avachinna Chetanaha Kutastha. Both ways. It is that which is conditioned, apparently seems to be conditioned by the two bodies is called, the consciousness is called Kutastha. That which is as the support of these two bodies staying, that is also Kutastha. See, Brahman doesn't support anything. Meaning, Brahman is. But when we recognize this physical body, this physical body is sustained by what? You think that it is inside, it is support. No. Antar Bahischa Tat Sarvam. Antar Bahi kaha hua? How do you say Antar Bahi? On what basis? So there must be a reference, right? From a reference point only, you say Antar Bahi. You say inside space, in this inside Smriti room, outside Smriti room. When you say outside means what? This wall. So this, similarly, Dehadvaya, inside is that which is apparently seem to be conditioned, is the consciousness. That which is outside it, sustaining it. The sustaining presence is also consciousness. Both are Kutastha. So one is Adhishtanataya Dehadvaya Avachinnataya. Both. So this Adhishtanataya Deha Tvaya avachinna chetana. The two definitions are given. The third definition is, even though it is inside the part or inside the two bodies or conditioned by two bodies, not to say inside, conditioned by two bodies, but it doesn't undergo no change. Otherwise, you cannot say that it is subject to all the changes. No, it is not under any change. Therefore, what is the example? Kutavat, Kutastavat, or Kutavat. Like when a goldsmith or a blacksmith is taking the iron and wanting to ply it, to shape it to the way he wants, he puts it onto the fire, and then when he removes it, it becomes flexible, and then he has to make it into the shape. Or even glass, they would do the same thing. So, but anyway, in the case of the iron or the gold, then they start hitting to the shape they want. But to hit to the shape they want, something has to be supporting there below, which does not undergo any kind of change. If that also changes, if you put it on a flimsy thing, a plastic, and then you heat it, before this changes, that will be broken. So it is called anvil. Unwillingly it is there. That's called anvil. So the anvil is that which supports the entire modification, but undergoing no such modification. So, Kutavan nirvikarena, vikara rahitena, stita. Staying without undergoing any change. Therefore, it is called Kuta iva stitatvat kutastha iti uchate. That is known as Kuta. Kuta iva tishtati. Therefore, Kutastha. So now, this ways, the very intention of this particular discussion is Kutastha Jiva Beda Vivaranam. This we need to understand what is really we think as ourselves, which is Jiva, which is the Vachyartha of the Tvampada, but actually who I am, which is Kutastha, which is the Lakshyartha as the Tvampada. And when this difference is not known, we mistake. We mistake ourselves to be Jiva instead of Kutastha. So, therefore, Beda Vivaranam, the difference between these two must be clearly understood. He's going to do in 30, close to 30 plus verses on this. How to understand Kutastha and how to understand Jiva and understand the confusion that is there. See, space remains unconditioned all the time. But what appears to be the space? See, let us say, in India, you might have found that the coffee cup, when they give, say stainless steel, it's, let us say, a particular quantity is there, right? Now, what they have done is, the space inside is of X amount of space. Now, to reduce their coffee content, what they do, below, they increase the so you will think, externally you will look at it same, but the quantity is different. Without that base which is filled, and with but if you look at the weight also, it will be the same. Meaning weight of the empty vessel. Both will have the same, because it's vacuum there below. They're not solid, it's vacuum. So they put one layer and then with another layer. So the outside will look same, inside you cannot see that, but the quantity will be less. And that's intelligent way of doing things. So, it looks full. But below is there is a space. So that is the so why I mean what I mean is that the quantity of even this part, if the amount of mud that is used in this part, if the layer is thinner, the space is more. If the layer is thick, even though it looks the same, space is less. So what is conditioning factor is not the space itself. The conditioning factor is the way it is built. So upadhi is the one which is conditioning it. Why there is so much of difference between person to person? It is the upadhi that is conditioning it. Animal and human, they may not, they are same consciousness only, but then upadhi beyatatvat. It is a upadhi that is making the difference. Upadhi upadravam karoti. Upadravam means trouble. Upadhi upadravam. So the material cause is what is conditioning it. So, Dehadvayena avachinna atma chetana. So now comes the next one, what is known as how the Kutastha believes that to be a samsari. How the jivatva takes place here. Now you see. Kutaste kalpita buddhihi tatra chit pratibimbakaha prananam dharana jivaha samsarena sa yujyate Kutaste kalpita buddhihi tatra chit pratibimbaka prananam dharana jivaha samsarena sa uchyate. Now you see, the marker is the one. So first thing it is said is Kutaste kalpita buddhi. We have seen that the part there is a space inside and there is space outside. Somebody should I turn the camera? No. So now you see the Chaitanya, consider that as the supporting Adhisthana. Adhisthana Chaitanya. This is otherwise known as Kutastha. Right? What is the statement made there? Kutaste Kalpita Buddhihi. So Buddhihi or Antakarana. Antakaranasya Adhishtanam Chaitanya. Meaning the Buddhi is Kalpita. The Buddhi is a projection on the Chaitanya. Just like the rope on which the idea of snake, the fangs. Right? So Buddhi Antakaranaha Chaitanya Adhishtane Kutaste kalpita. And in this, the reflection of consciousness takes place. That is pratibimba. Not from outside. Chaitanya is the base. Now, when we take this example of sunlight coming and reflecting, is now to be understood from his Dhyaranya standpoint. Kutaste kalpita buddhihi. Tatra, in that very water, very buddhi, antakarana, which is acting like a water. This acting like a water, which is subject to reflection, subject to causing a reflection. So, kutaste kalpita buddhihi, tatra buddhau, tatra antakarane, chit pradibimbakaha. There is a reflection of Chaitanya takes place. So do not think that Chaitanya is somewhere else and it is reflected. So the one which is the support with the Chaitanya on which the Antakarana is imagined. The Buddhi, which includes all the Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. In that very Buddhi, which is in the form of just like their rope on which the snake is projected on, the rope is seen. How do you see the rope? In and through the snake, not as an outsider. So on the reflection, but the reflection of the Chaitanya takes place in that projected Buddhi. And why we are not able to see it? Because the Buddhi occupies fully. It envelops the Chaitanya completely, even though the reflection is what is seen, but seen as Buddhi. And that is why that verse is very important. So, what you call? Atmana Satchidamshasya Buddhehe Vrittiriti Tvayam Sanyojya Avivekena Janami iti pravartate. Why the Buddhi has the idea that I know? I know is what? I is the nature of awareness. Knowing is the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Jnanam, that knowing is the nature of consciousness. But then the Buddhi understand it as a thought, and therefore he says, I know. So the reflection of the consciousness takes place, and this Buddhi assumes it is nature. I am consciousness. The reflection is taking place on. So the snake says, I am there. I'm here in this form. The snake. But actually it is the rope's nature to be that form. The rope's form is the snake's form. The snake feels that it's its own form, which is a projected snake. The projected snake assumes the form of the rope form. So therefore, differentiation between rope, which is original nature of the thing, and snake, which is a projected on that. And when the snake appears to have assumed its nature from the rope, thinks that it is on its own, the knowledge should be that the Buddhi is only a projection and the nature of consciousness alone is there. Then why it is called Jiva then? Why it is called Jiva? Prananam dharanat. Prananam dharanat. Because it is sustaining the prana, energy. See, that is the reason why the previously it said there are not here, but in Manasolas, I talked about Jnana and Kriya, two things about Ishvara Shakti. Ishvara is sitting in everybody's as the Jiva, as the Kutastha is staying there, and having sat there as there, anything that a person is able to think and anything that person is able to do is because of him. And therefore, Sarvagatatvam, Sarvatvatvam of the Ishvara is established there. Because that's a question asked by the student there. Kim kaha jivaha, kaha Ishvaraha, Sarvatmatvam katam bhavati. The Sarvatmatvam is because Sarvasmin, Ishvaraha, Sarvasmin, Tishtva, Hridaya Tishtva, Sarva Karyani, Sarva Jnanani Abhi Siddhim Karoti. Is the one who is doing through everything. So there the example that is given. When I see an object, the object is seen by the power of consciousness flowing through my eyes towards that. Then my hand goes and picks it up. So this picking up is through the hand. It's a kriya. It's an action. Even seeing is also an action, but we don't see it as a kriya. But when I physically take my hand and do that, that is what is considered as an action. But even the hand to go there and pick it up, the hand must have power of prana. Even to see the power of prana is necessary. So jnanam is consciousness, as the nature of consciousness or self is jnanam, but kriya is also because prana dharanat. So when you take the prana dharana as an independent thing, so it appears like buddhi has owned up that nature of prana dharana. And that is why prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, ityadi, all that. So because it is sustaining the body with this energy, therefore, samsari. That is why it is a prana dharana jivaha. Prana dharanat, because of the sustaining power, is referred as jiva, the individual life force, samsarena saha yujyate. Therefore, he is also engages into the, is also engaging in the individual world of its own as a samsari. So therefore, jivasya lakshanam here is samsaritvam, pranadharitvam. Pranadhari is jiva, samsari is jiva. But who is he? Buddhi, the reflected buddhi, which has the ability to reflect. So antakaranameva, that is none other than the superimposed notion of I, which is in which the reflection of consciousness takes place to make it self-aware. And self-aware, self-sustained, because it is able to sustain the prana. And because of the prana is not only for action, for all purposes. Even to thought is because of prana only. If the prana goes down, thinking also goes down. That's why for a dying person, as the prana slowly goes away, the ability to respond all goes away, ability to think goes away, ability to emote goes away, ability to understand. Prana bandhana liyate manaha. और प्राण बंधन करो, मन भी निलीन हो जाता है. So prananam dharana jiva. Now your question is causal body. We'll come there now slowly. We will explain that. So we'll see more of it in the next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasya dukkha bhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om.